Just sit up tall and let your sits bones ground and the sides of your waist lift up. And then turn your palms upward and just feel what that feels like for a moment with the palms upward and the eyes closed. And so often, first thing in the morning, we wake up and we think, oh my goodness, oh, what I have to do, what I have to do, what I have to do, what I have to do. Today in our practice, let's invoke a spirit of what can I receive? What can I receive? What awaits me? What surprises during my day will come in? What will I learn? What will I understand a little bit better? And then go ahead and curl in your thumb to your palm. You don't even need to open your eyes. You can just listen. And curl your 4 fingers around it. Good. And then open up your 4 fingers and spread your thumb out wide. Let's do that 2 more times and start to bring your breath into it. So close the thumb in. Close the fingers in. Open up the fingers. Open up the thumb. The power is in the hands. 1 more time. Bring the thumbs in. Bring the 4 fingers in. Open up the 4 fingers. And open up the hands. And then with those open palms and all that we can receive, the gifts of this practice, bring your palms together. Right at your heart in Anjali Mudra. And let's start our practice with just 1 Om. Big inhale. And take a big breath in. And open your mouth and breathe it out. Good. And then release your mudra and give your legs a little bit of a shake out. And then cross them and come on to your hands and your knees. And on the inhale, arch your spine and look up. And on the exhale, let your spine round and drop your chin in towards your chest. And then just stay with that for a few breaths, and you can move at your own pace, inhaling and arching and exhaling and rounding. So we're going to focus on a heart-opening practice today. The hands, the arms, the shoulders, the whole space and circumference around the chest are connected to the 4th chakra, the Anahata chakra. And the heart chakra is very much about connection. So how can we connect and in a spiritual sense to our day so that we're constantly understanding that we're receiving. Through the giving of our prana, of our energy, we are also receiving when we move into our endeavors from our hearts. Come back to a neutral spine, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and press back into a down dog. And so first down dog of the day, maybe the first moment that you've moved your body. So take a moment just to investigate. You can bend one knee and bend the other. Swing the hips a little bit from side to side. Flutter out through your lips. Anything you need here, just small micro movements. And then roll your way out into a plank pose. And press back into child's pose. Let your knees come down. Take your hips to your heels. Slide your way through and come into a baby cobra. Tip the chest up and open. And then move through bent knees into downward facing dog. Let's take another one like that. Roll your way out long. Plank pose. And press back, child's pose. Slide your way through and come into a baby cobra. And press back, downward facing dog. Send your right leg high up into the air. Draw your knee in towards your nose as you come forward and hover there. Press the ground away with your hands so that the upper back widens. And then inhale, swing the leg back up. And on the exhale, take a big step forward and let your back knee drop. And you can double over your mat. Or for those of you at home, you can put a blanket underneath your knee. And then bring both arms up above your head. And even here, can this be a sense that you will receive something? From your efforts, there will be a learning. Beautiful. Bring your hands down on either side of your right foot and step back into a plank pose. And lower all the way down onto your belly. Good. Press into the tops of your feet and begin to build an upward facing dog from the ground up. Stay with cobra if you need something a little bit more shallow for right now. Otherwise, press into your hands and begin to lift the chest a little bit more. Use the muscles of your arms and then lift your thighs. And from the lift of the thighs, can you reverberate some energy all the way up, zip up the front body so the chest and the lower back are supported. Nice. Downward facing dog. And breathe. Reach your left leg up. Draw your knee in towards your nose as you come forward. Hover there. And then inhale, send your left leg back up. And on the exhale, take a big step forward and let your back knee drop. Good. And then reach both arms up. And let the shoulders just slip down away from the ears, even as the sides of the waist grow their way up out of the pelvis. So there's some space there in between the ribs for more breath, more expansion, more space that's created for something to flow in. Bring your hands down, step back, plank pose. Lower yourself all the way down. One more time, as the shoulders roll back, begin to lift the head without straining in the neck, coming up into upward facing dog. Nice. Downward facing dog with your breath out. And then take a slow walk forward, one step at a time. Come to hang over your legs right at the front of your mat. And the gifts of these practice, what we receive, is both Sthiram and Sukham. We're studying the sutras this month. And Sthiram Sukham Asanam is really the only sutra that talks about the asana, the physical practice of yoga. And it means that the asana has both effort and ease. Effort and ease. Soften your knees and roll your way up. At the top, reach your arms all the way up. Big breath in. Pull your prayer through you and fold right back down on your breath out. Step your right foot back into a lunge. Down dog with your breath out. Rolling out into plank pose. Lowering halfway or to the ground, up to you. Upward facing or stay with cobra. Get long through the tops of the ankles. Down dog with your breath out. Lift your right leg up high. Step it forward. Let your back knee drop. Bring your arms up right away. And then let your hands float back down and step forward, bowing into your legs. Come all the way back up on your inhale. And right through you on your exhale, folding down. Send your left leg back. Downward facing dog with your breath out. Plank pose, rolling out. Lowering and dropping and hovering. Inhale to open right back up, swing the inner arms out. Exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stretch your left leg up. Exhale it in between your hands. Let your back knee drop. Bring your arms up. Nice. Let your hands come down to the ground and step forward, folding into your legs. Reach and rise and lift. And come right back down. Yeah, uniting the breath and the movement. Step your right foot back with gratitude. Downward facing dog. Plank pose. Lowering down. Inhale to open up. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Lift your right leg up. Exhale it in between your hands. Let your back knee drop and bring your arms all the way up. Good. Beautiful. Let your hands come down and step your left foot to meet your right. Inhale to open all the way back up, lift high. And exhale to fold right back down. Send your left leg back. Downward facing dog. Plank pose with your breath. Lowering down. Belly stays strong and lifted. Open right back up. And then exhale your way back. Reach your left leg up. Exhale it in between your hands. Let your back knee drop. Bring your arms up. And then let your hands come down and step forward, folding into your leg. Coming all the way up on your inhale. And exhale, bowing right back down and in. Step your right foot back. Plank to chaturanga on your breath out, right into it. Inhale, lifting and opening. And exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then take a breath or two right there. With a lot of awareness in the hands and the fingers, anchor the thumb and the index finger, and then spin the inner arms out away from that. Yeah. So the shoulders plug down the sides of the waist, the ribs fold in, and the spine gets even longer as the tailbone reaches back. Lift your heels up high and look forward. Hop or step your feet right in between your hands and bow forward into your legs. Come on, back up with your breath and folding forward. Send your left leg back. Plank to chaturanga on your breath out. Inhale, rising up, opening up. Exhaling, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Breathe right there. And let the gifts of these practices be received. Take them in. Let them nurture you. Lift the heels up high and look forward. Hop or step your feet right in between your hands. And fold forward into your legs. Diver's pose from the ground up. Send the chest forward, reach the fingertips back. And at the last moment, lift the heels. But can you also zip up the insides of the thighs so there's a little bit of a lift in the pelvic floor? Good. Utkatasana. Let the heels drop down, reach the arms up. Yeah, and again, there's so many gestures in this physical practice that invoke taking something in, being willing to receive. Dive all the way down over your legs. Come onto your fingertips and your spine. Hop or step your feet back and take it through a vinyasa or right into downward facing dog if you need something a little quieter today. Great. Lift your right leg up high. Stepping forward, spin your back heel down. Warrior two. Spiral your arms around you. Good. And then take a moment in this wide open shape with the arms reaching out like wings. Turn your right palm up, lean back. Peaceful warrior. Big stretch of the side waist. And then slip your hands down to the ground. Step back, taking it through a vinyasa or right into downward facing dog. It's up to you. Stretch your left leg up. Step it forward, spin your back heel down, warrior two. Good, yeah, and there is something so strong but so receptive about this pose. Turn your palms up and let that be a receiving, reaching back, peaceful warrior. And bring your hands all the way down to the ground. Stretch your breath through chaturanga. So there's a deliberate control of breathing that turns it into a pranayama, a way of focusing the energy. Reach your right leg up. Let's build on it. Step it forward. Spin your back heel down. Warrior two. Little different this time. Inhale, straighten out your right leg. Reach both arms up. Exhale, warrior two to the back of your mat. Nice. Take it into peaceful warrior. And then you've got a peaceful around to the front of your mat. So deliberately lift your toes and spin on your heels. Triangle with the breath out. Lengthen out the right leg. And you might need to shorten your stance a little bit here so it just feels a little bit more stable. You can also put a block underneath your right hand if that is something that you need right now. Otherwise, see if you can take the gaze past the left fingers and get the extension in the front and the back of the arm so the arm gets long. Press into your feet and rise up. Deep warrior two right here. Peaceful warrior. And bring your hands down to the ground. Flow through your vinyasa or your down dog. Good. And let the practice reflect what you need today, what you can receive. Left leg up, where you are. Step it forward, warrior two. Lengthen out both legs, reach up through both arms. Exhale, warrior two, back of your mat. Peaceful warrior. Take your peaceful around to the front. Triangle with your breath out. Linger in the transition. Yeah, so the breath is forced to stretch as well. And there's this subtle adjustment of the pacing of the breath that brings a little bit more grace and flow to those moments in between. And it's not just about where we arrive, it's also about how we get there. Press into your feet and rise up. Warrior two. Right back into peaceful. And let your hands come down. Chaturanga or down dog. Reach your right leg up high last time with this sequence. Step it forward, spin your back heel down, warrior two. Lengthen out both legs, reach up through the arms, take it all in, and then warrior two, back of your mat. Good, peaceful warrior. Take your peaceful around to the front. This time it's an extended side angle on your breath out, and you can take the right forearm to the right thigh or right hand down to the ground. Good. And as the left arm reaches long over the ear, still get a sense that the left shoulder is creeping down by engaging the muscle right underneath the left armpit. Yeah, tug that into the ribs. Let the ribs absorb that muscle, and there's a little bit more space created for the neck. Good. Swing the arm in front of you, triangle pose, lengthening out your right leg. And then take your left hand to your left hip. Looking down, walk your right hand forward to come up into Ardha Chandrasana. And you can use a block here, that might be helpful. Yeah, and then once you've arrived, peel open your left arm. And let the expression of the shape with every breath, it gets bigger, it gets wider, it gets longer, more expansive. Good, let's fall back. Warrior two. Right into a peaceful warrior. Cartwheel your hands down to the ground and step back. Left hand, left foot, side plank, Vasisthasana. On your left hand and your left foot. If this is too much, for those of you at home, you can always put your bottom knee down. That would be your left knee down. And then step your right foot behind your left and lift up into a little rock star moment. Reach it open. Beautiful. Come all the way back around. Send your right leg up high. Step your right foot wide of your right hand. And then step your left foot wide of your left hand and come right into a squat. And bring your hands back into that Anjali Mudra. So for those of you at home, if the squat is feeling like a lot today, you can always slip a blanket underneath your heels or put a block underneath your booty if you need that. Good. And take a moment to reconnect to your breath. To just be still, be grounded. Moving into our day with a sense of feeling grounded is so important for all of our actions. And then bring your hands down and let's check in a crow pose. If you're not taking crow, you can stay in your squat. If you are taking the crow, make sure you walk your feet back quite a bit and bring your feet together. And that gives you something to lean into. Try not to drop your head. Look forward. Yes, and then think of squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other, pressing into the fingertips. Good. And then you'll hop or step and we'll meet in a downward facing dog whenever you get there. If you want the vinyasa, take it. And then reach your left leg up. Step it forward and spin your back heel down, warrior two. Inhale, reach both arms up, straighten out both legs. Exhale, warrior two, back of your mat. Peaceful warrior. Take your peaceful around to the front. Extended side angle with your breath out. Yeah, as the tailbone drops, can you soften the belly enough to roll the underside of the chest up a little bit more? Yeah. Triangle pose. Sweep the right arm around in front of you. As you lengthen the legs, re-engage the muscles of the thighs so the kneecaps are lifting. Take your right hand to your right hip. Walk your left hand forward. Ardha Chandrasana. Good. And then you'll open up your right arm. And here's where that Sthiram Sukham Asanam comes in, because there's a real steadiness to this pose, but there also has to be a sense of expansion and openness, sweetness. Good. Fall back, warrior 2. Lean back into a peaceful. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back, right hand, right foot, Vasista. Good. Use the arm to press away from the ground without locking in the elbow. Lift the muscle of the bicep up. And then step your left foot behind your right and lift up, open up. Beautiful, ladies. Come all the way back around. Send your left leg up high. Step your left foot wide of your left hand. Step your right foot wide of your right hand and come into your squat. And then you're using the backs of the arms to open up the thighs. The gesture of Anjali Mudra comes back in. And then bring your hands down for a crow pose. It's so much more interesting when we take the physical practice and layer a spiritual intention into it. Because it reminds us that the simplest actions of our day can actually be incredibly connected to spirit. The simplest little things. Hop it or step it, and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Jack Kornfield wrote this book that's called After the Enlightenment, The Laundry. I love the name of that book, right? Because it shows us that everything can be infused with the principles that we're practicing here. Look forward and hop or step your feet right in between your hands. And fold up into your legs. Take a diver's pose, wing your arms back and lift your heels up high. Stretching the heart forward. Utkatasana, bend your knees and drop your hips, reaching through the arms. Yeah, let the tailbone sink even further, but the belly moves away from the thighs. And then come up to stand and draw your right knee up into your chest with both hands and give it a squeeze. Good. And then reach for your right big toe with the first 2 fingers of your right hand. You could also interlace your fingers underneath your leg if that's more where you're at today. And then begin to stretch your right leg forward just as straight as it will go. Plant your left hand on your left hip. That will help. And then deep breath in, and on the breath out, open the right leg out wide to the right. Nice. Counter that with the outer left thigh rolling back. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh, please. Reach your arms back and tip your booty back. Bend your left knee deeply. And get the hip opener. Good, but the heart is still reaching, reaching, reaching. Stay for one more breath. And then ease your way down and just fold forward over your legs. And you can put blocks underneath your hands here if you need it. Yeah, so your feet meet there on the ground, Kalani. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that wasn't clear. Sorry about that. Sorry about that at home. Just fold forward. There's nothing dramatic here. And then wing your arms back. And lift up, diver's pose. Utkatasana, let your heels drop and reach. Come up to stand and bring your left knee up into your chest with both hands. And then reaching for the big toe or hooking your hands underneath your left thigh. And balancing poses are such a great opportunity in our practice. First of all, they take great focus and attention and concentration. And you can begin to extend your left leg, ladies. Great. And they also help us to get in contact with our center, both physically and mentally. Open your left leg out to the left. Good. And then you'll cross your left ankle over your right thigh. And begin to wing the arms back as you come forward, bending your right knee deeply, deeply. That's it. Even point the pubic bone back and up. And then bring your hands down and step your left foot to meet your right and just fold forward. Walk your way back into a plank pose. And press back child's pose, nice wide knees. Good. Slide your way forward and come back into a cobra. And this time you can come up as high as you want, pressing into the hands to roll the shoulders back. Take a big breath in right there. And then do a little whistle on the way down. Yeah, that's a really old Dana Flynn laughing lotus trick, and I still like it. And then reach back for your ankles. And you'll come up into a Dhanurasana. So we did all that wide open hip stuff here. Can you spin the inner thighs up a little bit more and flex the feet and then lift the chest, lift the heart. Great. Yeah, and as the feet move away from you a little bit more, see if the support of the belly can lift the chest up a little bit higher without straining in the neck. Send everything back, reach your legs back, reach your arms forward and lift up. Little variation of Shalabhasana. Your arms are lifted, your legs are lifted. And then lower yourself down, make a little pillow for your head, and give your hips a little shake. And then one more time like that, bend your knees and reach back for your ankles. And lift everything up. Good. And every breath in can be a little bit more of an extension. Every breath out can be a softening. So there's the stiram and the sukham. There's tremendous strength involved. And also the softness, the ease, the openness. Stretch your arms forward, your legs back. Stay lifted. One more time. Yeah. And then lower yourself down and turn your head to the other side. And give your hips a little shake to loosen the lower back. And then roll over onto your backs, please. Bring the soles of your feet to the ground with your knees bent. And your feet will be slightly wider than your hips. Just slightly. And then let your knees knock in towards each other. Place your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. Close your eyes and just breathe. And for those of you at home, it might seem like we're actually not doing anything here, but what's happening is incredibly vital and important. So it's not often in our day that we stop and drop and feel our own hearts beating. And yet, without that particular muscle, there would be no life. So really the greatest thing that we're receiving every morning when we wake up is life. Our life with all of its potent possibility and potential. So when we wake up in the morning and the to-do list seems kind of long, or the day that's stretching out in front of you seems divided into sections. Work, meeting, work, meeting, meeting, work. Computer, meeting, work. Phone call, work. Instead, let's think about all the surprises that this day has in store for us. everything that could be received, the learning, the smiles, the connections. And the gifts of this practice, when we come to our mats, even if we just have a half an hour, just a moment to reconnect, to be grateful for all that we're given. So I encourage you, when the day gets a little bit overwhelming, it can happen. Just stop. Stop for a moment. Place your hand on your heart. Place your hand on your belly. Close your eyes. Breathe a little deeper. And let's be grateful for all that we've received. Namaste.